Welcome. I'm Randy Osborne. You're listening to the Bible Science for Kids podcast from a uniquely young earth, biblical creationist perspective. This is Cycle 2, Lesson number 6, Environmental Change. But before we start today's lesson, let's do a quick review of our last session. Do you remember what are some cycles in nature? The first cycle moves through the Earth's atmosphere, water, soil, and the cells of living plants and animals. The first cycle is called the carbon cycle. The second cycle needs bacteria to break some strong triple covalent bonds between the most abundant molecules in our atmosphere. It's the nitrogen cycle. The third cycle moves between the oceans, the atmosphere, and the land. It is the water cycle. Who's proud of you? I am. Good job. And now for Cycle 2, Lesson number 6, Environmental Change. As we learned when we studied question number 2, different biomes have their own climates. Sometimes these climates include significant seasonal differences that may affect the amount of sunlight, warmth, food, or water that will be available for the organisms that live there. The Creator existed before time. In fact, He created time in the beginning. He is not physical, He is spirit, totally different from the matter and energy He has made. He has provided, from the beginning of creation, different physical environments, mechanisms for environments to change with the seasons, and ways for the animals to react to those changes. Listen to what God's Word says to us in Genesis 1:25, New Century Version. So God made the wild animals, the tame animals, and all the small crawling animals to produce more of their own kind. And God saw that this was good. Question: how do animals react to environmental change? Answer: this is how animals react to environmental change. 1. They adapt. 2. They hibernate or estivate. 3. They migrate. The word adapt comes from the Latin adaptere, from ad, to or toward, and aptere, to fit, to join. So to adapt means to fit to adjust to, or to join to. The Latin word aptus means fit, suited, or appropriate. Animals are adapted in 3 ways: structurally, by their physical traits, like bioluminescence or camouflage or echolocation ability; physiologically, by their internal functions like hibernation or estivation; and behaviorally, by what they do and where they go, like migration. But how and when did animals adapt? Great minds disagree about this. In the 1800s, Charles Darwin suggested that generations of animals naturally evolved over eons of time, and so became better suited to their changing environments. Materialistic naturalists who think that space, time, matter, and energy is all that exists can't conceive of an all-knowing, loving, all-powerful Creator God who's separate and distinct from the creation, but instead they believe that unguided natural forces, mutations and natural selection, produced animal adaptations. But pity the original animal, who wasn't well suited to his environment, and he died before he could have children, and that's why there's no animals to this day. Well, that makes no sense. That can't be the way it happened. Creationists believe that God intelligently designed and created the features of animals so that from the beginning they were well adapted, well suited to their changing environments since the beginning days of creation, adapted by design. Let's look at some animal evidence to consider whether their amazing adaptations are created and designed with a purpose, or whether they might have accidentally evolved by unguided matter and energy over time. The bombardier beetle displays a remarkable combination of features that have been intricately designed for the purpose of self-defense. It possesses a specialized chemical chamber in its abdomen that stores two volatile compounds, hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide, and it stores them separately to prevent premature chemical reaction. When threatened, the beetle mixes these two chemicals in a reinforced reaction chamber, lined with catalytic enzymes, triggering a violent exothermic reaction that rapidly heats the mixture to near boiling. This resulting hot, noxious spray is ejected through a swiveling nozzle, allowing the beetle to accurately aim it at its predators. The complexity, coordination, and effectiveness of this system, requiring the right two compounds, the separate storage compartments, the enzyme-lined and structurally reinforced reaction chamber, the swiveling nozzle that can be accurately aimed using specialized muscles, and nerves dedicated to alarming, arming, aiming, and firing this invention are all well programmed and perfectly timed. The ability to survive life-threatening situations so that a creature can live long enough to produce children cannot evolve little by little over long periods of time. It must have already been present the very first time it was needed. The winter hibernation of ladybugs and bumblebee queens is a fascinating survival strategy that showcases nature's intricate design. As winter approaches, these insects enter a state of dormancy, sleeping, to survive freezing temperatures and scarce food. Ladybugs often gather in large groups, seeking sheltered spots like under the bark of a tree or inside homes, conserving energy until spring. Bumblebee queens burrow underground, lowering their metabolic rate dramatically to survive months without eating. This remarkable ability to enter and sustain such a dormant state, precisely timed with the seasonal changes of the earth, highlights a helpful and incredibly designed adaptation that ensures their survival year after year. The summer estivation of certain ants, beetles, and moths is an extraordinary adaptation that allows them to survive extreme heat and drought conditions. During the hottest, driest parts of the year, some desert-dwelling ants retreat deep into their nests, sealing off entrances to retain moisture and reduce exposure. Certain beetles, like the Namib desert beetle, alter their activity patterns or enter dormancy to conserve water and energy. Some moths, such as the bogong moth in Australia, enter a dormant state in cool mountain caves, remaining inactive for months until conditions improve. This built-in ability to shut down metabolic functions and wait out hostile environments demonstrates a finely tuned survival mechanism that is programmed from the beginning for precision and timing. Ethology is an entire branch of biology that studies instinctive behaviors that animals exhibit without any experience, without learning, and without any practice. Is instinct a mystery of evolution or the gift of the Creator God? The Creator gave instincts to protect the lives of his creatures. The migration of the monarch butterfly is one of the most astonishing phenomena in the natural world, and it raises profound challenges to those who believe that such complexity could arise through natural processes alone. Each year, monarchs travel up to 3,000 miles from Canada and the northern United States to overwintering sites in central Mexico, despite the fact that no butterfly lives long enough to complete the round trip. Instead, the journey spans multiple generations, with later generations somehow navigating to the same remote mountain forests that their great-grandparents left months earlier. This innate, precise navigation ability, despite the lack of direct experience, defies step-by-step evolutionary explanations, and it suggests that a pre-programmed guidance system has been provided by the Creator from the beginning. Undirected, natural processes are incapable of such an amazing accomplishment. The same distance that the monarch butterflies migrate is also traveled by the caribou, as this 240 to 700-pound mammal navigates from the boreal coniferous forest to the tundra and back. Even more amazing than that is the round-trip distance of the bird known as the Arctic tern, 44,000 miles from the Antarctic to the Arctic and back again. Question: how do animals react to environmental change? Answer: this is how animals react to environmental change. 1. They adapt. 2. They hibernate or estivate. 3. They migrate. Listen again to what God's Word says to us in Genesis 1, verse 25 of the New Century Version. So God made the wild animals, the tame animals, and all the small crawling animals to produce more of their own kind. God saw that this was very good. All structural adaptations, including physical traits like bioluminescence, camouflage, electrical or chemical defense structures, and physiological adaptations like hibernation, estivation, shivering when cold or sweating when hot, and behavioral adaptations like migration were carefully designed with a purpose by our loving designer, God, so that creatures are provided with what they need to live on this earth. The South American fish that secretes mucus that forms a hard case around it when the water dries up so it can go dormant until it rains again, does not have time to evolve. Adaptations are like parachutes. You must have them available before you need them. Thank you for listening to the Bible Science for Kids podcast from a uniquely young earth biblical creationist perspective. I hope to see you next time for Cycle 2, Lesson 7, Pollution. Until next time, this is Randy Osborne reminding you to keep trusting and serving the Lord.